A thief who steals petty cash can end up dead or in jail. But if he steals a lot of money, he can change the world and be a hero, notes the voiceover of Yoo Ji-tae, the actor who will take on the role of Alvaro Mort as the leader of the gang, the character known as the Professor. The success of A Money Heist led Netflix to create a Korean remake. The Korean adaptation of A Money Heist is expected to tell a similar story to the original work. Obviously, the setting changes, but it will all revolve around an ambitious hostage robbery that will lead its participants to face extraordinary challenges. For the adaptation of a fiction to succeed, two things have to happen. The first is that the series has been a success and that it has very talented protagonists. The heist of the century is over, but once again we are back to the scenes of A Money Heist, but this time in a Korean version. This only means that the story will follow similar steps to those already seen in the 5 seasons of A Money Heist, but probably will take a more Korean aesthetic, similar to what we have seen in A Squid Game, much rawer and with less science fiction. That's why today I'm going to talk to you, the hidden secrets about the Mask of the Money Heist Korean version. But first remember to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll be among the first to see our content. Let's talk a little bit about the Spain Money Heist mask. Many have wondered why they use the face of the famous painter Salvador Dali. To know a little more, this painter made famous works such as The Soft Clocks or Melted Clocks, The Persistence of Memory, and a short film with his script and designs, which was commissioned by Walt Disney himself. The icon of surrealist art has been projected in other cinematographic works, but in the Spanish series, his face has been projected as an iconic symbol of revenge, struggle, and protest. The main actor in the Spain series, Alvaro Mort, who plays the role of the Professor, commented that Salvador Dali's mask represents the spirit of resistance in the face of any injustice. The Professor, from a very young age, he suffered from a disease that kept him in a hospital room. His father, unable to pay for the treatment, tries to rob the Hispano-American bank and dies in the attempt. Precisely because of this, the character seeks to fulfill his father's plan by robbing the mint. So, if we answer the question of why masks of Salvador Dali are used in Money Heist, it is because it reflects the feeling that the minority can defeat the great ones. This is related to the Professor's story, when his father sought to provide him with the best health service and his economic situation did not allow it. The identification with the character Dali with his masterpieces embodied that characteristic of resistance and rebelliousness. For the time, the artist's surrealist movement sought to break the rules. In this way, each of the robbers of the Spanish series felt identified with the artist and his work. Finally, the production of the successful Spanish series decided to use Dali's face, as it is a recognizable face that also serves as an iconic cultural reference of Spain. Considering that Salvador Dali was born in Figueres, located in Spain. Fans of the series have acquired this mask as a costume, and there have even been several heists in various countries, similar to those in the Spanish series. Now we see that in the trailer of the Korean version of The Money Heist is Yoo Ji-tae, who is going to play the role of the Professor. We see that the Professor suddenly looks at the wall, and you can see that there are 6 masks. And among them is the mask of the famous painter Salvador Dali that was used in the Spanish version. We also see that next to the mask that was used in Spain is another mask that is the one that will be used in this Korean version. Of course we know this because in another preview we could specifically see that mask together with the famous red uniform. But have you wondered why that mask? If the Spanish mask had a lot of meaning, this new version also has something very interesting. First of all, you have to know that the other masks that appear in the trailer are traditional Korean masks. The Korean masks, also known as stál, represented the face of an old woman, a servant of the nobility, a joy, a monk or a nobleman, among many other characters. Considered as one of the national treasures and cultural heritage of South Korea since 1964. Many of these masks are made of wood and handmade, with beautiful painting. The mask they chose for Money Heist, Korea, is called Yongban. It is a common character in the array of traditional Haedo masks worn by villagers and performers in street plays and festivals, dating back to the 12th century. Yangban refers to the aristocrats who are often mocked at the Haedo masked ball. In the dances of the Goryeo period, people, animals, and supernatural beings are represented. These dances represented the Yangban aristocratic class, who usually play the role of the villain. Yangban, the most powerful character, and the object of extreme mockery in the plays. This mask has the eyes painted shut, with deep dark eyebrows and wrinkles surrounding them. The chin is a separate piece from the top of the mask, and actors can lean forward and backward to make the mask smile or frown as needed. The mask is designed so that depending on the position of the jaw, it expresses happiness or anger. The smiling face represents the deception and composure that an aristocrat is often known to have, as indicated in literature. Well, with this information we can know that this mask called Yongban was not chosen just by chance, but represents a great symbolism for this new series. We know that usually this mask represents the role of villain, a concept that can express the act of robbery in the series. Also in the works, the Yangban was one of the most mocked characters. This may represent that the heist team was also mocked, given that they are people who are poor and most of the society makes fun of that economic status of the people. Another interesting fact is that the mask is designed so that depending on the position of the jaw, it expresses happiness or anger. This can represent as symbolism, the good and the bad of a person's act. It can also symbolize that the act that the teacher's team will do will be a good or bad act, depending on which side they look at it. Letting us know that people have a label to identify good and bad acts in society, and that many times those labels can be wrong. Recall that according to the series, the mask of the Spanish version symbolizes a resistance to the political and social system and everything that for many seems unfair. We understand that something similar symbolizes the new mask of the Korean version. Most likely, it will symbolize resistance to many political issues in Korea, since it is a remake. For this reason, we know that just by thinking about what the mask of this new version represents, we know that the series will be very interesting because even though it is a remake, it will have a Korean touch that will make it something very special, as most of the series from that country are. Let me know what you think about the new mask of the series. Leave your opinion here. If you liked this video, like it and remember to share it with your friends.